Livestream summary. An emotional and multifaceted stream. Structure and themes. The livestream unfolds in 3 major segments. Light-hearted engagement and comedy content, mostly in Part 1. Deep dive into serious true crime cases, mainly Part 2. Personal reflection and emotional community bonding woven throughout both. 1. Comedy and community interaction. Tone. Casual, humorous, community-driven. Technical issues like poor audio, stream restarts, and headphone malfunctions set a casual, unfiltered tone. The host, Brittney, and her partner Craig, share inside jokes and banter with the chat, often breaking the fourth wall. Introduction of the Chit comedy sketches becomes a centerpiece for comic relief. The repeated gag, "Do it, lady," becomes an inside joke with viewers. They praise Chit as dry, office-style humor, a knockoff of The Office, and play clips on stream, inviting the audience to watch and enjoy. Viewers are welcomed by name, thanked for becoming members, and encouraged to join the Gummy Squad. Palate cleanser. A viral baby seal video is shared, referred to as a water puppy, and used as a palate cleanser between heavier topics. 2. True crime deep dive. Main story. The Delphi murders, Richard Allen case. Tone. Reflective, critical, and skeptical. Brittney dives deeply into the controversial Delphi murders case, focusing on Richard Allen, the man convicted in 2024. His wife Kathy Allen's defense, emotional statements and disbelief. Doubt cast on the conviction due to weak/ambiguous evidence like grainy video footage and misfiled police records. Allegations of mental deterioration and possible false confessions. Kathy Allen's unwavering support for her husband and belief in his innocence. Notable highlights. A detailed read-through of articles and documents covering the original 2017 murders of Libby German and Abby Williams. The Snapchat video and the Down the Hill audio clip. The Odin report and claims of alternate suspects. Psychological deterioration of Allen during 13 months in solitary. The community's grief and the painful trial/sentencing for the victims' families. Brittney voices skepticism over the investigation, emphasizing, "I don't think they got the right person." Montana bar shooting. Michael Brown. Tone. Somber, concerned. A mass shooting in the town of Anaconda, Montana, where suspect Michael Paul Brown killed 4 elderly patrons in a bar. Brown, a military veteran, is still at large, hiding in national forest terrain. Discussion centers around the victims being grandparents/community figures. How isolated towns like Anaconda can become crime scenes. The difficulty of apprehending suspects in remote terrain. Call for mental health checks alongside Second Amendment rights. Idaho 4 murders, Bryan Kohberger case. Tone. Analytical. A video breakdown of the Idaho 4 student murders is played. Brittney and the chat reflect on Xana Kernodle's actions and how her movement may have disrupted Kohberger's plan. It's suggested that Xana's resistance could be why the knife sheath was left behind. Discussion includes timeline reconstruction, DoorDash details, and Dylan Mortenson's statements. Rebecca Baptiste case. Arizona child abuse and system failure. Tone. Devastating, emotional. This becomes the emotional climax of the livestream. 10-year-old Rebecca Baptiste was found on the highway after alleged prolonged abuse and torture by her father and his girlfriend. She died of her injuries 3 days later. Viewers and hosts are visibly shaken, with Craig reportedly crying on stream. Reports reveal 13 reports made by the child's school to Arizona DCS. None effectively acted upon. Rebecca's bruises, black eyes, missing toenails, dehydration. Her moving poem and description by teachers as smart, kind, and exceptional. If you hurt a kid, off with your head. Even evil people love their kids. And these people didn't. This section ends with a call to justice, public outrage at systemic failure, and calls to protect other children in similar situations. 3. Community reflections and call to action. Themes. Faith and spirituality. My cause is Jesus, Brittney says. Multiple mentions of prayer, evil, and God's justice. Open panels and community participation. She invites viewers to return for open panel discussions on major cases like Delphi and Idaho. Support and mental health. Shout-outs to users struggling with illness, grief, and trauma, e.g. kidney failure, loss of parents. Moderation and online hate. Britney addresses rumors, trolls, and false accusations, like misuse of GoFundMe money, with a mix of sarcasm, sternness, and transparency. Final segment. Return to Chit comedy skits. Purpose. Lighten the mood after a series of distressing stories. Several new Chit skits are played. Running jokes include "Do It Lady," "Evil Face," and "Truth or Dare" workplace scenarios. Britney calls Chit therapeutic, using him as comic relief after the emotional Rebecca case. Ends with laughter and gratitude for the audience's presence and support. Key takeaways. Format. An emotional roller coaster, moving from laughter to grief to outrage and back again. Audience. Loyal, interactive, and emotionally engaged. Many regulars by name. Content style. Informal, spontaneous, deeply human. Purpose. Information, advocacy for victims, community bonding, and healing through conversation and humor. Final summary. The livestream is an unfiltered, emotional blend of humor, true crime, social commentary, and community healing. Britney and Craig balance serious content, such as the Delphi and Idaho 4 cases and the tragic story of Rebecca Baptiste, with comedy skits and palate cleansers to make the space digestible and safe. The stream creates an atmosphere of empathy, support, and collective justice-seeking, with open invites for audience participation and deep dive panels to come. There are some inconsistencies, misunderstandings, and unverified claims stated during the livestream. Most are likely unintentional and stem from speculation, emotional reactions, or paraphrasing complex legal situations. Here's a breakdown. Inconsistencies and misinformation by topic. 1. The Delphi murders, Richard Allen case. Correct or plausible points. Richard Allen self-reported being at the trail that day. A bullet was found at the scene and allegedly matched his gun. Confessions were made while Allen was in jail. Kathy Allen, his wife, defends him and claims his innocence. His mental health reportedly deteriorated in solitary confinement. Fact-check breakdown. 1. They got him on camera. No, they don't. This is partially true. There is a grainy image taken from Libby's phone showing a man believed to be the suspect, often referred to as Bridge Guy. But here's the thing. It's never been confirmed to be Richard Allen. 2. It doesn't look anything like Richard Allen. This one's subjective. Some people agree and say it doesn't resemble him at all. Others, including investigators, believe there's a strong resemblance. It really comes down to individual interpretation. 3. He confessed under threat in jail. This is unverified. Yes, Richard Allen has confessed, multiple times, to his wife, to a psychologist, and even to jail staff. But whether those confessions were coerced or came from a mental health crisis is still up for debate. It hasn't been proven either way. 4. People confessed and were ignored. That's unproven. There are plenty of rumors, especially about so-called Odinist cults, but as of now, no confirmed alternate suspect has come forward with a confession recognized by law enforcement. 5. It was misfiled under the wrong name. That part is true. Due to a clerical error, one of Allen's self-reports was filed under the wrong name, which delayed its discovery by investigators. 6. He was found guilty in fall 2024. That's completely false. As of August 2025, Richard Allen has not gone to trial. He has been charged, but there has been no conviction. 2. Idaho 4 murders, Bryan Kohberger. Accurate points. Kohberger is charged with the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. A knife sheath was found near one of the victims. Timeline discussions about Xana, Dylan, and DoorDash are based on case filings. Fact check. Xana Kernodle discussion. 1. Xana may have been the one who disrupted his plan. This is speculative. Some people believe Xana may have interrupted the suspect's intended sequence, based on unsealed court documents and commentary. But to be clear, there's no definitive proof. 2. She ran upstairs then back down. Again, speculation. That movement pattern has been suggested based on a DoorDash delivery and Dylan's eyewitness account, but there's no forensic evidence confirming it actually happened that way. 3. Xana was hiding in the bathroom window. This is unverified. That claim reportedly came from a DoorDash driver's statement, But so far there's been no official confirmation that Xana was hiding, ducking, or even seen in the window at all. 3. Rebecca Baptiste case. Arizona child abuse tragedy. Most of the statements were accurate, based on reputable local reporting. Rebecca was found unresponsive and later died. The school made 13 reports to DCS. Most were ignored or uninvestigated. Her father and stepmother were charged. Teachers described her as bright and beloved. Fact check. Rebecca Baptiste case. 1. DCS did nothing. This is partially true in terms of impact, but let's be precise. Of the 13 reports made about Rebecca's situation, 4 were actually investigated by the Department of Child Services. That said, none led to intervention or meaningful outcomes, which is why many feel DCS failed her. 2. She had all her toenails removed. This statement has been reported, specifically from early statements by prosecutors. But at this point, further medical or courtroom confirmation is still pending. So while deeply disturbing, this detail may still be contested in court. 3. She was essayed. Sexual assault was implied during court proceedings, but it has not been directly confirmed in every official report. Some references have used carefully worded language. So while the implications are there, this point remains legally cautious and emotionally complex. 4. Montana bar shooting, Michael Paul Brown. Mostly accurate retelling of news articles, but with minor speculation and informal tone. Correct points. 4 people were killed at the Owl Bar in Anaconda, Montana. The suspect, Michael Brown, is a military veteran and remains at large. Terrain and national forests are making search difficult. Fact check. James Brown shooting commentary. 1. Who drinks at 10:30 a.m.? This came off as dismissive. Yes, the shooting happened around 10:30 in the morning. But let's be real. In many small-town bars, it's not unusual for patrons to start drinking early. It may sound surprising, but it's not unheard of. 2. He was the same age as the victims. That's incorrect. James Brown, the suspect, is about 45 years old, whereas the victims were in their 50s to 70s. So no, he was not the same age. 3. He had no reason. This one falls into a gray area. As of now, no official motive has been released to the public. But that doesn't mean police don't have one. It's entirely possible that more information is being withheld during the investigation. Other general points. Delphi verdict misstatement. Saying Allen has already been found guilty is a significant error. No trial has occurred yet. Jokes about shopping spree and Best Buy rumors were sarcastic, but could be misunderstood as truth without context. Scammer accusations were dismissed. Britney claimed she had receipts to prove she's paid her attorney. These aren't misinformation but are untested personal claims. Conclusion. Most of the core facts are relayed accurately, but speculation is sometimes presented as fact, especially in emotional or casual moments. Some critical details are wrong, like saying Richard Allen has been found guilty, he hasn't. Cases are sometimes framed with personal commentary, so viewers unfamiliar with the topics may need to double-check facts. Fact-checked report and annotated overview. Livestream on true crime and commentary. Part 1. Comedy, commentary and technical issues. Overview. Livestream begins with casual banter, technical issues, audio/headphones, and light humor. Comedy sketch series Chit becomes a major recurring joke. Audience embraces catchphrases like, "Do it, lady." Multiple shout-outs to live chat members, with encouragement to join Britney's Gummy Squad. Fact check. Mostly accurate. All events in this portion are personal opinions, experiences, or entertainment-based. No factual claims to verify. Mentions of new members, tech frustrations, and inside jokes are authentic to community. Live streams. Part 2. True crime deep dive and commentary. Topic 1. Delphi murders. Richard Allen. Accurate. Richard Allen's self-reported being on the trail. A bullet casing matched to Allen's firearm was found. He allegedly made confessions in jail. Misfiled police report delayed Allen's identification. Kathy Allen, his wife, has publicly defended him. Inaccuracies. Claim. He was found guilty in 2024. False. Richard Allen has not been tried or convicted as of August 2025. Claim. They got him on camera. Forward, no they don't. There is video and audio evidence of a suspect, Bridge Guy, recorded by Libby German, but it is grainy and not definitively proven to be Alan. Claim, other people confessed and were ignored. Unverified. Some suspects were questioned and alternative theories proposed, including the Odinism angle, but no verified confessions from alternate suspects have been accepted in court. Claim, the bullet was used to intimidate. Speculative. While a round was found and linked to Alan's gun, it's not confirmed how or if it was used during the crime. Claim, he was mentally psychotic during confession. Subjective. Defense has argued this, but no formal court ruling has declared the confession inadmissible. Topic 2. Idaho 4 murders, Bryan Kohberger. Accurate. Kohberger is charged with the murder of 4 students. Knife sheath found at the crime scene. Timeline includes DoorDash and statements by surviving roommates. Inaccuracies or speculations. Claim, Xana was ducking in the bathroom window. Unconfirmed. This is based on a DoorDash driver's account but is not verified by law enforcement. Claim, Xana disrupted the plan and caused Kohberger to flee. Speculative. This is a logical theory, but not yet substantiated in official documents. Claim, she was running upstairs then downstairs. Partially speculative. Based on roommate testimony but movement within the house is reconstructed and not definitively proven. Topic 3. Montana bar shooting, Michael Paul Brown. Accurate. 4 victims were killed. Shooter is a military veteran and still at large. The region's terrain makes search efforts difficult. 2. Minor errors. Claim, he was same age as victims. Incorrect. Brown is in his mid-40s. Victims were in their 50s to 70s. Claim, no motive known. Currently true, though investigation is ongoing. Topic 4. Rebecca Baptiste case, child abuse in Arizona. Accurate. Rebecca was found injured and later died. School made 13 reports to DCS. Her father and his girlfriend were arrested. Prosecutors alleged extreme abuse and torture. Rebecca wrote poems, loved school and was described as gifted. Clarifications. Claim, she was essayed. Implied but not officially confirmed in all documents. Prosecutors used sensitive language. Claim, DCS did nothing. Partially true. DCS reportedly acted on only 4 of 13 complaints, and no interventions occurred. Claim, toenails removed. Alleged in court, but not yet medically verified publicly. General notes. Much of the livestream includes emotionally driven commentary, speculation and reactionary statements. Britney encourages viewers to fact-check and revisit topics in future deep dives. Viewer engagement is high, and serious topics are sometimes balanced with humor or palate cleansers. 3. Final verdict. Major claims are rooted in real reporting and documents, especially on Rebecca Baptiste and Delphi cases. Several speculative or incorrect claims are stated as fact, including Alan's false conviction and confirmed essay in Rebecca's case. Viewers should verify emotionally charged claims independently. The stream mixes advocacy, grief, and engagement with sincere intent but occasional misstatements. During the live stream, there were no overtly inappropriate behaviors in terms of violating community guidelines or engaging in harassment, threats, or illegal content. However, there are a few moments that may be considered questionable, borderline inappropriate, or unprofessional, depending on context and audience expectations. Here's a breakdown. Potentially inappropriate or questionable behavior. 1. Use of profanity and crude language. Examples. Fucking ass. Dumb motherfucker. Off with your head, in reference to child abusers. Multiple instances of strong language used casually. Impact. Profanity itself isn't inherently inappropriate on platforms like YouTube or Twitch, depending on settings, but repeated explicit language can violate monetization guidelines or alienate more sensitive viewers. 2. Joking about serious topics. Example. The line, "Who drinks at 10:30 a.m.?" during coverage of a mass shooting may seem dismissive. Making sarcastic jokes about being accused of going on a shopping spree, or Best Buy card scam, amid financial controversies. A few moments where Britney uses humor to deflect or cope with child abuse stories. Understandable but can seem tonally jarring. Impact. These moments may be seen as inappropriate given the gravity of the cases being discussed, e.g., child death, mass murder. However, they appear to be more about coping and emotional regulation than malicious intent. 3. Graphic case details shared without adequate preparation. Example: discussing torture, missing toenails, essay, sexual abuse, and dehydration of a 10-year-old girl, Rebecca Baptiste, with graphic language. Britney provides a trigger warning midstream, but at times launches into harrowing details suddenly. Impact. This could be seen as irresponsible or emotionally distressing for viewers. A more structured warning or content segmentation would help reduce harm. 4. Platforming unverified claims as fact. Example: suggesting there are real confessions by others in the Delphi case. Implying DCS intentionally neglected a child without balancing it with confirmed reports. Impact. While not illegal or directly inappropriate, this is ethically risky, especially in true crime. It can lead to misinformation or emotional manipulation of the audience. 5. Accusatory/defensive tone toward viewers. Example: responding to trolls or critics with sarcasm or anger. Remarks like, "Why the F*** should I respond to you?" when referencing internet trolls. Blocking viewers midstream for comments, sometimes justified, but delivered emotionally. Impact. This creates a confrontational atmosphere which may deter respectful dialogue or make the community feel hostile to dissent. Behavior that remained appropriate. Showing compassion for victims and families. Giving space for grief and personal emotion. Addressing controversial topics like DCS failures with real concern. Using Chit comedy skits and seal videos to emotionally decompress. Livestream content evaluation. First up, profanity use. Rated, mildly excessive. The language was casual, sometimes colorful, but at times, it felt out of place, especially given the serious subject matter of true crime. Next, graphic content. Rated, emotionally distressing. Some details were deeply unsettling and could have benefited from clearer, upfront trigger warnings for the audience. Misinformation risk. Present. Several claims were presented as fact but actually needed more context or clarification. This poses a risk of spreading misleading narratives to viewers. Tone management. The hosts showed moments of genuine empathy, but when faced with criticism, the tone sometimes shifted to defensiveness, which may impact credibility. And finally, humor versus gravity balance. Inconsistent. The stream frequently jumped between levity and trauma, and while some of that contrast can be effective, in this case it often felt jarring or disorienting for the audience. From a critical standpoint, this livestream is a blend of authentic community engagement, emotional advocacy, and chaotic multitasking, but it also suffers from structural weaknesses, tonal inconsistency, and lapses in factual precision that undercut its credibility, especially for an audience seeking reliable true crime content. Here's a detailed critical evaluation across key dimensions. Tone and presentation. Disjointed, emotionally raw. Strengths. Genuine emotion and sincerity. The host clearly cares deeply about the victims, particularly in the Rebecca Baptiste case. Empathy and grief are palpable, creating emotional resonance with the audience. Uses humor, Chit skits, seal videos, as an emotional reset. A smart content tactic for trauma-heavy material. Weaknesses. Wild tonal swings between comedy and tragedy. Do it lady, jokes immediately following child abuse discussions. Emotional intensity sometimes drowns out objectivity or pacing. Improvisational and unstructured, leading to jarring transitions and repetitive tangents. Critical takeaway. Emotionally compelling but lacks editorial discipline and tonal control. Content depth and research. Mixed accuracy, heavy speculation. Strengths. Covers major stories like Delphi, Idaho 4 and Montana bar shooting. Brings attention to lesser-known tragedies, e.g. Rebecca Baptiste, with passion and detail. Quotes from articles, documents and statements show some research effort. Weaknesses. Key factual error. Incorrectly claims Richard Allen has been found guilty. He hasn't. Presents theories and rumors as fact without clearly labeling speculation. Lack of source citation or visual aids to support claims or explain timelines. Reliance on chat-driven conversation causes frequent derailing. Critical takeaway. Serious content deserves tighter fact-checking and sourcing. The stream loses authority when speculation masquerades as reporting. Host demeanor. Relatable but reactionary. Strengths. Host is warm, accessible, and personable. A strong parasocial connection with viewers. Uses audience shout-outs and live interaction to foster loyalty. Shows emotional vulnerability which resonates with real people. Weaknesses. Frequently combative with critics, which can feel unprofessional. Moderation of chat seems emotion-driven rather than policy-based. Defensive responses to rumors, e.g. financial scams. Lack polish or PR awareness. Critical takeaway. Charisma is strong, but needs better emotional regulation and on-stream professionalism to maintain credibility. Production quality. Low to moderate. Strengths. Basic streaming infrastructure is in place. StreamYard, chat integration, etc. Screen sharing clips and news stories is a valuable engagement tool. Weaknesses. Frequent technical issues. Headphones crashes, device switches. No structured outline or segment planning. Stream feels improvised from start to end. Audio-video quality varies and trigger warnings are often delivered after disturbing content. Critical takeaway. Production is passable for a grassroots creator, but not polished or reliable enough for professional-level true crime journalism. Livestream performance review. First up, emotional engagement. 4 out of 5 stars. The stream packed strong emotional weight. The hosts showed genuine heart, and their vulnerability resonated with the audience. A clear strength of the broadcast. Next, factual integrity. 2 out of 5 stars. Unfortunately, this area suffered. There were multiple uncorrected errors and a handful of speculative claims presented as facts. It undercuts credibility, especially in the context of true crime. Presentation and tone. 2 stars. The delivery was erratic at times, swinging between humor and heavy topics without clear transitions. Those tone shifts could be confusing or even off-putting to some viewers. Host authority. 3 out of 5 stars. The hosts came across as relatable and passionate, but occasionally struggled with restraint, particularly when responding to criticism. A firmer command of the room would elevate their presence. And finally, production value. 2 stars. The stream had noticeable technical issues. Rough audio, missing structure, and lack of visual planning. Felt spontaneous but not in a good way. Final verdict. This live stream thrives on authenticity and community, not polish or precision. It succeeds as a support space and emotional outlet for true crime followers, but fails by journalistic standards in areas of fact-checking, tone consistency, and information hierarchy. Good for engaged, loyal audiences who want emotional connection and community discussion. Not ideal for viewers seeking structured, evidence-driven, or professional-level coverage of true crime. Brittney and Craig clearly have the passion and audience engagement, but their live stream fell short of its full potential due to structural, tonal, and factual issues. Here's a professional-level breakdown of how they could have transformed this stream into a great, informative, and engaging experience. 1. Structure the live stream with clear segments. What they did. Jumped between humor, tech issues, emotional stories, and speculation with no clear transitions. What they could do. Adopt a 3-part segment structure, for example. Livestream segment breakdown. From midnight to 0:10. We kick things off with a warm introduction and a quick community check-in. Think greetings, tech checks, and a little friendly banter to set the stage. From 0:10 to 0:40. We dive straight into the heart of the show. A true crime deep dive featuring the case of the day with sourced facts, a clear timeline, and essential context. From 0:40 to 1 o'clock. It's time for viewer reactions, open commentary, and a few well-timed moments of comedy or palate cleansers to balance the intensity. Benefits. Keeps the audience mentally prepared for tone shifts. Improves replay value. Viewers can skip to the parts they care about. Adds credibility without losing the relaxed style. 2. Label speculation versus fact clearly. What they did. Mixed personal opinions with reporting, e.g., I don't think he did it, alongside real evidence. What they could do. Use simple phrases like, here's what's been confirmed. This part is speculation, but many believe. Let me cite the source here. Benefits. Protects credibility as a content creator. Avoids spreading misinformation unintentionally. Helps new viewers understand what's known versus theorized. 3. Add visuals for case timelines and sources. What they did. Read articles out loud and showed clips, but no cohesive storytelling tools. What they could do. Create a case card or slide showing. Timeline. Victim names/photos. Map if relevant. Key evidence list. Links to public filings or documentaries. Benefits. Professionalizes the stream immediately. Helps visual learners stay engaged. Makes their work more shareable on other platforms. 4. Improved tonal transitions, comedy versus crime. What they did. Jumped from horrifying cases, e.g. child abuse, into do it lady jokes with little buffer. What they could do. Use intentional transitional language such as, let's take a moment to breathe. That was really heavy. Now before we get into something lighter, let's all take a second to honor Rebecca. Okay, let's lighten things up a bit. Here's a quick comedy break. Benefits. Makes tone shifts feel natural, not jarring. Shows respect for victims while preserving community vibe. Keeps emotionally vulnerable viewers from feeling overwhelmed or confused. 5. Plan for technical reliability. What they did. Frequent audio issues, crashes, device switches. What they could do. Test audio-video setup before going live. Keep a backup device or link ready. Use a shared run-of-show document so both hosts know what's next. Benefits. Less chaos equals more focus on content. Builds trust and professionalism. Keeps audience attention from drifting. 6. Moderate chat strategically, not emotionally. What they did. Reacted emotionally to trolls, occasionally ranting or calling people out. What they could do. Set clear community rules at the top. Have moderators post reminders. Ignore or quietly block trolls. Don't feed them airtime. Benefits. Maintains a safe, stable environment for viewers. Makes new members more likely to engage. Prevents derailing the stream's purpose. 7. End with a summary or viewer action step. What they did. Ended with good night and more comedy. What they could do. Summarize main takeaways from the case. To recap, Richard Allen hasn't been tried yet. The bullet casing is key evidence. His wife believes he's innocent. Offer an action item. If you want to support Rebecca's memory, share her story or donate to child abuse prevention. Benefits. Gives the stream closure and purpose. Empowers the community to engage meaningfully. Reinforces credibility and long-term value. Final thought, what could this live stream be? If Brittney and Craig added structure, clarified speculation, improved transitions and tightened production, they could produce a deeply human, emotionally authentic true crime channel that balances empathy, insight and community. With rising credibility in the true crime space, they already have a loyal audience, emotional authenticity, strong voice and presence. What they need is refinement, fact-checking discipline, and editorial planning.
Last night's live stream was a roller coaster of true crime, broken headphones, baby seals, and spiritual warfare, all hosted by Brittney and Craig, your favorite emotionally candid crime-fighting couple with a knack for switching topics faster than a conspiracy theorist on Red Bull. We opened with chaos, failed tech, misfiring audio, and a quick dive into the abyss of digital existentialism. Can y'all hear me? Echoed like a seance chant. Naturally, the audience was treated to a monologue about broken mixers and coffee withdrawals before pivoting to some classic alleged child murder. The main course was a tragic, heartfelt discussion about Rebecca Baptiste, a woman who tried to seek help before her death and got less support than Craig's headphones. The hosts emotionally recounted her story while simultaneously battling YouTube trolls and telling viewers to click thumbs up mid-trauma dump. In between stories of violent crime and judicial neglect, we were blessed with TikToks of a man named Chit, who apparently lives in a low-budget office spin-off and shouts "Do it, lady," like a cult leader. This served as a much-needed palate cleanser between two homicide stories, because nothing helps process trauma like awkward sketch comedy and references to seal pups. We then spiraled into Richard Allen territory, where things got spicy and factually loose. Britney confidently stated Allen was convicted, which, for the record, he absolutely wasn't. But don't worry, if the timeline was blurry, the comedy was crisp. And then, plot twist, Britney addressed allegations that she's scamming viewers. She reassured us all that she's paid her lawyer and has receipts, while daring trolls to come find her at Best Buy, or maybe not, it was hard to tell. Either way, it was a touching moment of financial transparency and righteous indignation. All in all, the live stream was one part emotional advocacy, one part sketch comedy, and one part Facebook argument. Think, Dateline meets drunk history, if both hosts were fighting with their headphones and trying to explain trauma through seal videos. Misinformation and inappropriate behavior wrap-up, claimed Richard Allen was convicted, he has not been. Shared speculative details about abuse and trauma without disclaimers. Used inappropriate language, e.g., dumb motherfucker, ass, hooves like a cow, directed at trolls and in public chat. Swung between true crime and comedy with no content warnings, creating tonal whiplash. Suggested that law enforcement will track your IP and prosecute YouTube trolls, not how that works, exactly. Final thought, if you came for clarity, you left with questions. If you came for empathy, you got it, sandwiched between seal memes and do it, lady, chants. And if you came for facts? Well, you should have brought your own.